Hey everyone, and welcome back to some more esports talk. As usual, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Hunter, and let's get into it. What we're talking about today is the return of LANs. Thank God we are coming back. LANs are happening again, and with the return of LANs, players are beginning to worry about the conditions that they're going to be having. We saw that players like Dapper were concerned about Iceland whenever they are going to their quarantine, more or less, and they're going to be quarantining for a week out, and he says that he feels like it's just going to be a little bit like jail.
And I'm pretty sure during that full week on quarantine, we're all individually in our rooms and we can't leave them for that whole week. Food, they give us food. I'm pretty sure it's like a jail. Bro. They bring you food on like plates and shit. Like it's gonna be like metal plates. They're gonna give us like plastic forks so we don't like kill ourselves or something. It's gonna be like crazy. I swear it's gonna be. They're gonna give me like a lamb head. Like I don't even know what Iceland eats, bro. It's already gonna be like prison.
But as it turns out, Iceland was not the land that we needed to worry about. Things have been fine. They have gotten food that looks great, and they seem to be doing all right. But on the other hand, the land that we should have been worried about the whole time was the Six Invitational that is being hosted in France. That has just been a bit of a crap show, I have to say. It seems like there is a lot of problems going on with the hotel that players are staying in, and we've seen that backlash come out on Twitter. Just looking at the food that they have, they say, bro, like seriously, come on, where you see just like some bread, a slice of ham, a slice of cheese, and one egg. We see just a horrible looking orange that is partially moldy that they ended up later clarifying that wasn't from that day, but a few days earlier. There's some comparisons going on between Finnish prison food versus the breakfast that they're getting. TSM Merc says that Geo's outlet caught fire and the power is out on their floor. Players are complaining about the utensils that they're getting for their food, no matter which meal. Lycan says that breakfast for him was a croissant Danish and a ciabatta roll with a can of orange juice. I'm diabetic, I can't have any of that. At 9:30, I went back to sleep to get to lunch. Bolo says, TBH, I don't have that much of an issue with the food. The bed bugs, on the other hand, could definitely do without them. Later on, he updates it to say, upon medical review, good chance it's not bug bites. Had the whole medic squad roll up. You can all sleep soundly. The complaints are far and wide. There are a lot of different things going on here. It seems like the food is not quite up to standard. A lot of people are complaining that they just aren't getting enough food or a good enough quality of food. And others will argue and say, hey, well, why don't you order stuff? And we're not really sure on the specifications of that because it seems like some are claiming that they're not allowed to get other food, or if they are, it has to be this room service specific food that they can order additionally other than their provided meals, and that food ends up costing a ton of money on the side, a ton being like $20 for a sandwich type deal. But it's an entirely different issue for someone who's diabetic to be getting food that they literally cannot eat, and they just have to wait until lunch to hope that they get something else. These problems, I know some people are going to say they just seem like they're being dramatic, and some are going to be on the opposite side and really frustrated, but I'm sure there's more to it than what we are seeing in pictures. I'm sure some of the food is just absolutely not up to quality, but some of the meals also are. But the question is, whose fault is this? A lot of players are very upset about this and feel like they are almost being wronged in this situation. And so, of course, a lot of people have taken to Twitter once again to share their opinions about this situation. Some seem to think that they are expecting gold lace sheets and a personal chef, but then they respond by saying that what does multiple bathrooms with pre-existing feces still in the bowl imply as far as sanitation during COVID? Sinks with missing and broken pipes, faulty outlets that have potentially dangerous or damaging effects. I don't think this is about expecting gold sheets. Pingu weighs in and says NA has lost the mental game at SI. If you can spend hundreds in shoes, bags, and clothes, surely you can splurge on room service to be comfortable at a multi-million-dollar event. It should be brought up internally to the people that can fix it. Tweeting it won't get us anywhere. Everyone is on the same meal plan, but one region is in particular chaos over it. Don't get me wrong, it's ducking terribly organized. Pojo responds saying, don't know what anyone expected, throwing 30 NA players with nothing to do in a room with no PCs to practice on or play ranked or FPL. All we have to do is have a giggle on the TL, and follows it up by saying that they were strongly encouraged not to rent PCs by Ubisoft themselves. And then, of course, there are a lot of jokes about people starting to trade for food or talk about having only certain rations that they have available. And, you know, let's trade hummus for coffee, this, that, and the other. And so some people are, you know, getting a light attitude. And I'm not sure if at this point things have gotten better for them. But there is one tweet that I specifically wanted to bring up that I think is a very good point. It says, to think that I'm going to have to play at my highest ability with the energy of one turkey slice and a croissant. Like, what the F? This is so effing BS. And with this pretty much being the Fyre Fest of gaming at this point, where these players are showing up and just not getting any sort of decent food or nutrition, I feel like this is a pretty good argument from any that I have seen. Of course, people can be upset and just like not like the taste of it, or they say it's not good, which is pretty typical of people traveling and going to different parts of the world where they may not be as familiar with the food. But at the end of the day, the best argument I've seen is this one of saying, hey, like, in a sense, we are professional athletes. We are professional competitors in our esport. And so how are we supposed to perform on such little nutrition? If this is all we're getting for breakfast, then it doesn't seem like we can play up to the capability that we are expected to. Of course, also seeing people with health issues like diabetes is a great argument and something that should have been considered beforehand. I'm interested to see if there's any sort of response on this, and if Ubisoft has a response. You know, is this the hotel's fault? Is this the tournament organizer's fault? Where does this land necessarily? Who is responsible? And what is going to happen? What's going to play out with this just mess of a situation? What do you guys think about it? Do you think the players are just being dramatic about their food and posting the worst of the worst just to get a bit of a reaction and maybe some sort of different service? Let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think about all of this? Until next time, be safe, be smart, behave, and I'll catch you later.